The Minnesota Vikings made a very smart decision today, deciding not to tag or franchise tag quarterback Sam Darnold, which would have been very, very expensive. So let's get right to it. Before we do, shout out to our affiliate partners at Green Gridiron. If you want one of these mini helmets, feel free to hit the link I have pinned in the comment section, or it's in the description. Use the promo code MINSYN, MINSYN, at checkout to receive a small discount on your purchase. They have NFL helmets, college helmets, fully customizable ones, and they also have helmets you can wear on a football field. And don't forget, not only do they have the mini helmets of your favorite team, they actually have the life-size replica ones you could probably wear on a football field. I'm not 100% sure about that, but they do have the big one. So if that's something that interests you, hit that link that's pinned in the comment section, or it's in the description, and use the promo code MINSYN, MINSYN, at checkout to receive that discount on your purchase. And if they already have a current deal going on, you can actually stack that promo code to receive even more off of your final price. So let's get into it. Sam Darnold officially not tagged by the Minnesota Vikings. Yesterday, it was reported basically all week. We were wondering, what are the Vikings going to do, right? They had until 3 p.m. Central Time today to make their final decision on whether or not they're going to keep Sam Darnold around for another year via the franchise tag, which basically means they get a guaranteed or fully guaranteed contract, I believe is what it is, and it's the average salary at that position and what they would receive. But then yesterday, I believe it was reported, or earlier this morning, basically that the Vikings, by Ian Rappaport, that the Vikings are not expected to franchise tag quarterback Sam Darnold by Tuesday's deadline, per Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero, but all parties are working through options to potentially keep him in Minnesota. Darnold, who is set to hit free agency, has a situation best described as fluid, which all you can take from that is, hey, Sam Darnold, the Minnesota Vikings front office, they're talking. Okay, he had a pretty darn good season, minus the 2 games against Detroit and 2 games against Los Angeles Rams. But when you look at everything he did this year, I mean, it makes a lot of sense that the Vikings front office, GM, head coach would be talking with Sam Darnold, trying to find a price to where he could stick around in Minnesota. But first and foremost, they had to figure out, should we place the franchise tag on Sam Darnold? Well, ultimately, per Tom Pelissero, now official, we already heard this about an hour ago or something like that, no franchise tag for Sam Darnold. The sides are still trying to find a deal that works for both sides, which means Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings are looking at potentially, coming up with a contract extension, maybe keeping him in Minnesota for multiple years. Not sure how I feel about that, to be completely honest, but here's what I will say. The reason I say it's a smart move that Minnesota didn't franchise tag him is because, again, you would take the average salary at that position and attach it to this player, or attach it to Sam Darnold, which at the quarterback position is $40.1 million. Okay, that's fully guaranteed, which means the Minnesota Vikings would be salary cap stricken, or they would basically just be tied in a knot. They really wouldn't have much wiggle room with salary cap after they were to place this, or after they would have placed this franchise tag on Sam Darnold, which $40.1 million is something that Sam Darnold's probably going to see from a lot of teams. There's going to be teams out there that are going to be aggressive. The Las Vegas Raiders are one of them, right? The Cleveland Browns could be looking at a quarterback, even though they have the second overall pick in this year's draft. Even the New York Jets could potentially look at bringing Sam Darnold back. The New York Giants, there's a lot of options for Sam Darnold. There's going to be teams that are going to be looking at him like, hey, we can pay him a lot of money, because he should ask for a lot of money with what type of season he had with Minnesota. So $40.1 million a season seems realistic, but not if you're looking at it from the franchise tag standpoint. So I'm not really sure how I feel about Sam Darnold potentially trying to work out a deal to stay in Minnesota, because yes, he did a fantastic job, right? He did everything he needed to do. But is he the right veteran to lead J.J. McCarthy? Is he the right guy to say, look, you had a great year, sign you to a multi-year extension. You have a chance to be the franchise guy here for 2-3 seasons. But let's say J.J. McCarthy is turning heads in camp. He's making strides. He's looking really, really good. And Minnesota front office says, hey, it's time to see what we have in this guy, especially if Sam Darnold goes out there and has a terrible start to his next season, right? 0-3 or something like that, a buttload of picks, just looking like crap. It's time to throw J.J. McCarthy in the mix. Then you're looking at that contract going, why did we even do this? You're sitting with a Daniel Jones type of contract that the New York Giants did just a couple years ago. Instead of signing or extending Saquon Barkley, they extended Darnold or Daniel Jones. Didn't work out. And I'm not saying that's a similar situation here in Minnesota, but that's something you have to be wary about. Like, how good is Sam Darnold actually? He had a really good season, but can he, consistently do that year after year here in Minnesota? It's possible, but is that a chance the Minnesota Vikings organization is willing to take? I don't believe so. It wouldn't be a chance I would be willing to take. If anything, I'm signing Sam Darnold for another 1-year deal. Let JJ McCarthy learn again. That way, if it's a 1-year deal, you're not just stuck with the guy being your starter for multiple years, and you won't feel bad with putting him on the bench. You sign him to a 1-year contract, right? Give him $30 million or whatever the case may be, $20 million or something like that. And you say, hey, this is your year as it sits right now. Another prove it year. Okay, we have JJ McCarthy. He was drafted 10th overall. Eventually, we have to see what this guy has in store. Okay, if you start sucking, we can bench you. But if you're stuck with 2-3 years, you have a situation where you're looking like, the Atlanta Falcons, where Kirk Cousins signs that big contract, and then, they draft Michael Penix with the 8th overall pick. Everyone's like, what in the world? But Cousins just can't get it done, so they have to bench him. How do you go back to Cousins? You don't. You turned your head. You turned to the new face of the franchise. I think Minnesota's best case scenario here is stick with JJ McCarthy, find a viable free agent quarterback, a veteran to help JJ McCarthy learn the ropes a little bit, and see what we have. That's just, I think it'd be better, not only for JJ McCarthy's career or for the organization, but it would also be money for the salary cap. Okay, it would be a cheap rookie contract, or a cheaper contract than it would be to sign Sam Darnold, and you can fix the roster. You can plug and place these, positions that we need help at: offensive guard, defensive interior defensive lineman, maybe a linebacker. Definitely at the cornerback position, we need help. Okay, but right now Sam Darnold did not receive the franchise tag. You guys let me know your thoughts about this situation in the comment section down below. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much appreciated. Have a great rest of the night, folks, and Skol Vikes.